Part 6. Exploring the world, starting from the discovery of the white bone dragon pond. Author, Wo Yi Pian Hai. Chapter 51. The sense of immersion is too strong, this wave of feeling is about to be sent, yes, it refers to myself. My teacher just suffered a cardiac arrest and almost died at the age of 60. I was almost the same. If I hadn't clicked on this live broadcast without thinking, my worldview, outlook on life, outlook on science, outlook on development, as well as my social etiquette, beautiful moral character, beautiful personality, and even my soul would not have been so ruined. Lose. Mom, No Majdai. Kicking the doorframe, it feels so good to be impacted by this worldview again. I am dead, and from now on, I will go back to the same bridge on earth. Kinli Buxi, I knew it, I really don't understand, after watching the live broadcast for so long, how can I still think that this world is a normal world without any self-awareness? World, first of all, I have not offended anyone, and I also want to ask, why am I not serious? The live broadcast room was full of noise, just waiting for these two people to continue talking. Unexpectedly, the chat ended with just a question and answer. Now, no matter how well educated a person is, his blood pressure can't help but rise. He beat his chest angrily and desperately posted barrages in the live broadcast room, just to attract Yeshi's attention. However, Yeshi didn't seem to pay attention at all. Instead, he and the big guys went over to look at the five-color altar. A special magic circle that can cross the starry sky. Someone repeated what Yeshi said, and then started beating on the five-color altar. At this time, the baby-faced scientific research boss came over, his eyes flickered, and he looked at Yeshi. Can you perform that for us again? Yeshi. However, he still followed what this person said and reenacted the scene of crossing things along the five-color altar to the starry sky. Watching it live and watching it live are completely different feelings. When the bright spot in the northwest corner rose up, the thing Yeshi was holding in the hands of these scientists instantly disappeared from the top of the five-color altar. It's really so magical. The people present couldn't help but marveled. Then, Yeshi's hands were touched here and there by a group of big men, as if they were checking why this was happening. In the end, he was speechless when he was touched and said directly, "This has nothing to do with my hands. I just activated this altar, so that's why it's like this." Yeshi pulled out his hand with difficulty, then pointed at the northwest corner with his finger. I saw a glistening light rising up, and Yeshi's fingers also shone slightly. Because this time lasted for a long time, everyone could clearly see the changes in the altar and Yeshi's hands. These are two different energies. A female professor held an unknown instrument and detected the fluctuations that permeated the space. She was filled with amazement. You actually have such high-quality energy. How can the human body carry such terrifying energy? Why can the energy from this five-color altar shorten the space gap? This kind of energy is obviously very common. Several big guys who knew about this discussed together. They had already discovered the type of energy contained in the five-color altar, but they did not realize that it was related to space at all. And now, the door to a new world has been opened directly. Jingle bell. Yang Xuanhuan's cell phone suddenly rang. He unexpectedly received the call and immediately announced it. "Hello, Academician Yang, we have detected the appearance of the number 1 small energy block in space, located at declination at 35°35. When the sound came out, many people couldn't help but look up at the sky outside the window. Yeshi was better than many people who were confused, because the system had put the picture of outer space in front of his eyes. When I see something that was in my hand just now, instantly appear in the universe. Yeshi couldn't help but sigh with emotion at the magic of the five-color altar. After that, many experiments were conducted, but none of them had anything to do with Yeshi. Just as he was bored and watching these great scientists doing research, A crisp system sound appeared. The global secret map is lighting up. Ding, the map of Poseidonia lights up. Host, please go explore it as soon as possible. When Yeshi saw this Poseidonia, he confirmed it. Why did you go to the bottom of the sea now? Yeshi seemed to realize something. Mountains, deserts, oceans. Next is the sky, right? Will the next one go to the universe? Yeshi had a lot of ideas in his mind, but he didn't know what map would light up next. I just looked at the distant shining spot on the map and fell into thinking. He was thinking about what he should prepare for going to the bottom of the sea this time. I only have dust-proof beads and no waterproof beads. Did you do this on purpose, system? He is still thinking about how he should conduct this exploration. At present, it seems that even survival safety is not guaranteed. How to explore Poseidonia? After all, the water pressure at the bottom of the sea was so terrifying that if he went down, he would be crushed into a pulp. Xiao. Suddenly there was a calling voice next to my ears. Yeshi turned around and saw that it was Yang Xuanhuan. Thank you for your cooperation, Xiao. Thanks to you, we can enter here to study the ancient divine object of the five-color altar. You have wasted too much time with us old men. You can leave now. I will tell those people not to disturb you. Yang Xuanhuang's voice was very gentle, and his eyes seemed to be able to tolerate everything. Yeshi hesitated a little, but finally chose to leave 11 bottles of primary special nutrient solution as a gift to these great scientists. He would not join any official organization, but it would be okay to leave such insignificant things that are good for the health of top scientists. Is this what you drank? Yang Xuanhuan was a little surprised when he got the bottle. His eyes flashed with wisdom. Looking at Yeshi's surprised expression, he explained. I watched each of your live broadcasts 14 times. He sighed. It's a pity that the live broadcast was too long, and I only watched it a few times. What you gave me should be very special. I can't see too much from the picture alone. I just think it may be related to personal potential. Yeshi's pupils shrank sharply, but he heard Yang Xuanhuan continue to say. You said before that you have seen a god. You should be talking about the snake god in the ancient city of Jingzhou. In fact, there is more than one god in this world. Thank you, I will take these 11 bottles of water first. This matter will not affect you. Yeshi was chatting with Yang Xuanhuan here, and had already pulled the camera away. It should be said that the current live broadcast is just a background board, but even so, many people still watch it with relish. After saying goodbye to these scientists, the white bone dragon pond was blocked again. Yeshi packed up his things and started to go to Poseidonia. It was an uninhabited sea area, and it was the bottom of the sea that no one had ever been to. The sea was cloudless, and the waves were turbulent, swallowing up countless lives. Yeshi did not go there by plane. Because there was no plane flying there. So he had to choose between flying a plane or sailing a boat, and Yeshi chose to sail a boat, just in time to see the scenery of the ocean along the way. Because the system had rewarded him with the skills of a master driver before, Yeshi could drive a yacht without any problem. So, when the live broadcast started again, everyone was surprised to find that the camera was photographing an extremely vast sea. I will update early tomorrow, and it will definitely be 4 updates. Motivate myself. Then, readers, please urge me to update more. I love you guys. Exploring the world, starting from the discovery of the white bone dragon pond. Author, Xuanhuan Pian Hai. Chapter 52. Yeshi was already above the sea at this time. The sea was rough and blue, and seagulls flew across the sky. There were also some white seabirds chirping around Yeshi, as if they were happy to see him. The scenery here is completely different from that on land. A world of sparkling blue waves, a world of water. Because the yacht was relatively large, Yeshi did not put the little along in the system space, but placed it in the yacht. It seems that because he came to the ocean, the misty eyes of the little Along became a little brighter. Yashi incidentally placed the stump of the Kunlun sacred tree, which draws energy from different dimensions, next to Xiao Along. Then he sat at the front of the yacht and finally opened the live broadcast room. Coming. Damn it, why are you in the sea? Is Lao Ye going to explore some island? I am Yun Ran. Brother Ye is silent for me this time. When he went to the desert before, some people said that he was running for reincarnation. Wouldn't it be more exciting now? That's how it is if you never die, it'll be fine if you die once. I don't think anything will happen to Yeshen, but has anyone analyzed where this is? Alegio, whenever you ask a question and look up at the sky and down at the ocean, you can tell that the anchor has come to Oceania, the Pacific. It's strange that there are no famous islands in the Pacific. Oh, I understand, you're not going to the islands at all, you're going to the bottom of the sea. 1,000 miles never leave 1,000 miles away. Boss, please give me some thighs. How can you tell? Golden clam, Pacific Ocean. Could it be that Yeshen wanted to find the sea beast? While there was a lot of discussion in the live broadcast room, Yeshi's voice came out against the salty sea breeze. Hello everyone, this is my third live broadcast adventure. It can also be seen from the environment of this live broadcast that it has something to do with the sea. Everyone can use their imagination to guess why I came to Oceania. Yeshi went online and in physical libraries, and even asked many people to collect information. The given location of Poseidonia was in the Atlantic Ocean, also at 30 degrees north latitude, but the location on the map marked by the system was completely unrelated to these. However, Yeshi still bit the bullet and collected the relevant information. Now we have been driving from Oceania towards the sea for several hours. The location marked by the system is almost in the center of the Pacific Ocean. Yeshi also specifically asked the system why Poseidonia was in the Pacific Ocean. As a result, ding, host, please enjoy the fun of exploration. Yeshi. His fist hardened and then he let it go. Fortunately, because of the black technology rewarded by the system, Yeshi's yacht was also very fast, which was a few 100 million points faster than an ordinary yacht. During this period of time, Yeshi occasionally glanced at the live barrage, and then looked at the shocking news related to himself, and couldn't help but sigh. The terms used in these news are too exaggerated. Yeshi came across many foreign media reports as soon as he scrolled, especially the Sakura country. They were rarely seen in 5,000 years, rare in 10,000 years, and rare in human history. But the most popular one was the conversation about God. Just as he was getting closer and closer to the map location marked by the system, Yeshi AI changed from a messy state to a serious state. He finally stood up, looked at the camera, then pointed forward and said, "After wandering at sea for so long, we can finally stop. Look ahead. See the nameless island in front of you." Just when everyone thought where the destination was, Yeshi changed the subject. "Of course my destination is not there, but across the sea in front of that unknown island. It has already taken me a morning to get here from the Hawaiian Islands. Let's see what greets us. Strange things happen in the world. Why do you feel like Brother Ye doesn't know what he wants to explore?" The smile gradually disappeared. I felt something was wrong when I saw Lao Ye in this state. Could it be that he was here to let us watch him sunbathe? Although I know people don't act like this, Brother Ye is not a human, so I can't say for sure. The price of this yacht must be very expensive. Looking at the fast speed, it is completely different from other yachts I have seen. I really can't think of anything to explore here. There's no ancient city or Longton here, right? 1,000 miles never leave 1,000 miles, vulgar. I think the golden retriever brother is right. Lao Ye may want to take us to see a huge sea monster this time. Is it a sea monster? Alegio, sea monster. If you really want to show us ocean monsters, you must go to the deep sea, but there will never be monsters on the sea surface. So, has the anchor brought a submarine? I am God, I dare not think seriously about the depths of the ocean. I think that kind of place is scarier than the depths of the desert. At least the desert has real ground to step on. Yashi's yacht had already passed through the nameless island, and then stopped about 5 kilometers away from the nameless island. Looking around, it's all vast and vast. If something happens in this place, there will really be no way to heaven and no way to earth. Yashi arrived at the location marked by the system, but still saw nothing. At this time, ding, congratulations to the host for reaching the destination, the side quest is open. Go to Poseidonia, reward Atlanteans for amphibious ability. Tip, the entrance is under the sea. Yashi thought about it, walked into the depths of the yacht, put away the little Along and others. Said to the camera, "It seems that I still have to go to the water today. What I'm looking for is under the sea. Don't worry, even if it's on the seabed, it won't affect the quality of our live broadcast." Yashi smiled brightly at everyone. "William Tianzun, I'm not worried about the quality of the live broadcast, I'm worried about the quality of your life. Land and sea are completely different. Will this really be okay? I can't imagine how a human being can go down like this without wearing a diving suit. At least he was wearing an exploration suit before. Yashen, I won't pretend anymore. The only god I have ever seen is myself. It feels so dangerous. Should we change to another place? I don't think there is anything to explore in these places. It's just a sea of water." Splash. Just when everyone was discussing, Yeshi had already entered the water. The live camera also followed Yeshi down. Almost everyone watching the live broadcast couldn't help but tremble with fear. Because of the special nature of the live broadcast machine, even under the sea, it can still illuminate everything. It's already afternoon now, and the sun shines on the sea, casting a golden light. The ocean is really too mysterious, and the Pacific Ocean is the largest, deepest, and has the most marginal seas and islands in the world. When the camera captured Yeshi smiling and waving at everyone, these people were not calm anymore. "Brother, you are my brother. Do you know how dangerous it is to go into the water without any protective equipment? Even if it is a professional diving team, forget it. What the hell, old Ye didn't wear any equipment, he just jumped down, scared me to death. I have nothing to say about this bravery. Stop laughing, I'm scared." Yeshi went down all the way. The temperature around him was getting lower and lower. The scenery in this ocean is unique, but there are not many people enjoying the scenery at present, and they are all looking at Yeshi in fear. "You are holding back your swimming, Zhou, go up and put on a diving suit." Unexpectedly, Yeshi's eyes suddenly lit up at this time, and he spoke. "I have seen what I am looking for." He pointed to the blue glowing area in front. "Zhou, why can you still speak under the sea? You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment." Exploring the world, starting from the discovery of the white bone dragon pond. Author, Wo Yi Pian Hai. Chapter 53. Although Yeshi had been swimming down into the water before, his posture was particularly comfortable, just like a fish. But in the end, he barely looked like a human being. But when he started to speak after diving about 30 or 40 meters underwater, those netizens who were very worried about Yeshi were stunned. As for the water, why didn't the sea water pour in? I understand why I thought Brother Yes' body was the lens at first. Now it seems that it turns out to be the reincarnation of the fish spirit. Alegio. Nothing to say, this should be a genetic mutation. I'm so stupid, really, why do I think this monster in front of me is a human being? When I started Beidou why can fish live in water, no one was innocent. I'm sorry. I apologize once again for my shallow knowledge and my belief that it would be dangerous for Lao Ye to go down without a diving suit. To Lao Ye, even if you are dead now, I will mourn you again later to see if you are really dead. After Yashi possessed the amphibious ability of the Atlanteans, he felt like a fish in water at the bottom of the sea. Looking at these barrages, I waved to the camera with a smile on my face, then pointed forward and said, "It seems that the first stop of our exploration will bring unexpected surprises." "No, the surprise, shock, you gave us is already big enough. I can't imagine what kind of surprise, shock, is more outrageous than Lao Ye being like a fishman." I looked in the direction Brother Ye was pointing. "Oh my god, that's too low down there." It felt like there was a monster lurking there. "Think openly, there is no monster more monster than your Brother Ye." Yashi glanced at the live broadcast room. Looking at these barrages, he spread his hands innocently. "You have misunderstood. I am just better at swimming than ordinary people. In fact, there is nothing special about me. You have such rich imaginations, how is it possible to return fish spirit to fish people?" Yashigang wanted to say that this thing only appeared in novels, but then he thought about it, the place he was going to. It seems to be at the bottom of the sea, so even if there are really fishmen, it would not be surprising at all. So he swallowed what he was about to say. "I'll keep going downstream, and I'll take you to see the beautiful scenery under the sea. Nothing special means that without any equipment, you can talk in the water without drowning. Good at swimming refers to non-professionals without any equipment, and they have now dived to 60 or 70 meters below the sea surface. But the beautiful scenery is really beautiful, there are so many sea fish, the ocean world is so beautiful, wow wow, it would be great if I was not a human like Lao Ye. I can see dragons, watch rice dumplings lift coffins, and enter the sea." I started looking at Lao Ye again when he entered the water. No wonder the water and sky were the same color when he went down to the sea just now, he seemed to be falling from the sky. What I said above, I remember that all the history of the world records great floods, and Nuwa even patched up the sky. The water came from the sky. If you are really right, then the water and the sky are the same color. So funny. Leave professional matters to professionals, Brother Ye, have you considered God? Yashi occasionally glanced at the live broadcast room and happened to catch a glimpse of this barrage. He retorted angrily, "I can't fly, so where can I go? Did I hear it right, buddy? Send him the animated picture of Lao Ye floating in the air so that he can take a good look at his shameless appearance. Animated GIF, click to explore." Yashi looked at the bright blue light below and explained, "Then I'm just floating in the air temporarily, not flying." Old Yayuji Feijian left when he was done. He turned around and told us, "What I stepped on was just a plane. Everyone believes in science. Aaleguo, from a scientific point of view, the suspended posture is just special energy supporting him, which is the internal force that the anchor once said. In fact, all over the world, there are many special humans who can break through the limits of the human body, that is, superhuman beings in a general sense. There is nothing surprising. Let's watch the Blu-ray below." Yashi went all the way down, and the sea became deeper and deeper, and there were swarms of fish and shrimps on the side. It makes foodies have a big appetite after watching it, and also makes those who are afraid of the deep sea feel on the verge of fainting. As Yashi went lower and lower, the barrage began to become tense, and the faint blue light got closer and closer. Macho Man is scared, the bottom of the sea is so scary, I feel like I'm going to suffocate. Mighty girls are also afraid. Aaleguo, judging from the level of light, I'm afraid the distance has reached the deep sea area, but this kind of cold light is not something that creatures in the sea can emit. The most important thing is that there will not be such a large-scale biota near this deep sea area, so it must be a man-made object. It seems that this is the place that the anchor wants to explore this time. Please take a seat, boss, on the sofa in the back." Yashi didn't speak, and the sea was quiet and full of fear. Therefore, the closer we get to the deep sea, the more depressing the atmosphere in the live broadcast room becomes. Not to mention a bunch of creatures that can't help but look like them. It makes some people want to watch it but don't dare to watch it anymore, and feel like it's a loss if they don't. Just as he was falling, Yeshi saw the entire face of the blue light. Ding, congratulations to the host for unlocking the blue pyramid under the sea. The reward is 75% crystal x 10. Blue pyramid, no one can resist the power of time. This is a miracle of civilization covered in the dust of history. The blue pyramid is made of extremely pure crystal. It represents truth and harmony. It can open the genetic treasures in organisms, purify the mind, enhance consciousness, and cure all physical diseases. The ancient pyramid has been sleeping in the sea for 30,000 years, and now you will lead the world to lift the ancient veil covering it. Pure crystal, communicate with yourself, amplify energy, heal the body, and pop out the soul. As Yeshi paused, the mysterious blue light finally showed its original appearance. This is a pyramid made of blue crystal, emitting blue fluorescence throughout the body, magnificent and strange, full of endless mysterious colors. Even if Yeshi is 500 meters away from the pyramid, he can still see these clearly in front of him. And when this picture is shown to everyone, almost no one can control their horrified hearts. Some people guessed that Yeshi was going to the bottom of the sea. Some people guessed that the content of Yeshi's live broadcast this time might be related to ancient civilization. Some people know that every live broadcast of Yeshi has a special response. But this is the pyramid. If you ask any creature on the blue planet where to find the pyramid, no one will not answer Egypt. And no one will let people go to the bottom of the sea to find the pyramid. Yeshi's clear and bright voice sounded, and it seemed a little dull at the bottom of the sea. Yes, did you see it? This time the live broadcast will go to what you see in front of you. Standing in front of you on the bottom of the sea, it is made of pure blue crystal, the blue pyramid. Rumble. Almost everyone who watched the live broadcast had their pupils shrink suddenly, and they felt like thunder exploded in their ears. They looked at the scene in disbelief. No one thought of typing at all, but faced the live broadcast room and exclaimed, "How could there be a blue pyramid on the bottom of the sea?" Exploring the world, starting from the discovery of the white bone dragon pond. Author, Xuanhuan Hai. Chapter 54. Sea water itself has no color. But because of the optical properties of sea water and some other factors, it appears as it does to the human eye. When you are on the sea surface, you will not feel that the water has no color. But at the bottom of the sea, you can clearly understand. Especially when this whole group of blue light shines out. This blue pyramid is not as big as those in Egypt. I should say only about half the size. But sitting on the bottom of the sea, it is still a giant. There are many different fish species nearby. Even corals, jellyfish, and other special marine life. The jellyfish swarms are glowing. The coral seems to be soaked in the blue pyramid, and it is blue. The fish are colorful and swimming around, more active than other places. Seen from a distance, it's like a dream kingdom here. A dream world based on the dreamy blue pyramid. No one would have thought that there would be a pyramid under the sea. And it is a crystal-like blue pyramid that has never been seen before. Even Yeshi was very surprised when he discovered that the entrance to Poseidonia was the blue pyramid on the seabed, let alone others. Magnificent, mysterious, strange, profound, surging. This is a completely different world from the surface, and an object that is completely opposite to the buildings on the ground. Every time Brother Ye takes us, it's like watching a movie. The scene is so beautiful, so beautiful. If the White Bone Dragon Pond is a myth and the Jingju ancient city is history, then this place is like a dream country. It's incredible. I never would have thought that Lao Ye came here to explore a blue pyramid on the seabed. It's unbelievable looking at it from the outside. I can't take my eyes away. I'm really curious about what's inside. Aaleguo, what are you waiting for? Come in and take a look. It feels like my soul has been purified, but how did Brother Ye know that there is such a thing here? Yeshi was already standing at the bottom of the pyramid. He looked into the distance and zoomed in so that everyone could clearly see the material of the pyramid. Everyone knows about the pyramids in Egypt. Even if they haven't seen them in person, they have seen many pictures online. They are made of stones. But here, Yeshi's hand fell on the pyramid, and his hand was also reflected in a blue light. As you can see from the material of the blue pyramid in front of you is completely different from that of Egypt. According to me, it should be entirely made of crystal. A pyramid built with such blue crystal without any impurities is truly a miracle of the world. Yeshi couldn't help but sigh, and then walked around the blue pyramid. It could be seen that the construction here was very perfect. Yes, if I can only use one word to describe it, it would be perfect. It's perfect without any gaps, like a natural crystal pyramid. But on the contrary, Yeshi's expression was not full of admiration, but very confused. He said to the camera, "It's strange. You can see that this blue pyramid seems to be formed naturally and is a whole. There are no cracks here. I'll go up and take a look now." Yeshi walked around the pyramid all the way up, and the water rippled. He stopped from time to time to observe. When we finally reached the top of the tower, we still didn't find any gaps. Every place was perfectly closed. If the craftsmanship of creating the pyramid is not too high, it is naturally formed. But a blue crystal pyramid naturally forms under the sea? Even the most inexperienced person would find this impossible. Because this blue pyramid is 66 meters high and 108 meters wide with a base. No matter how you look at it, it is definitely not a natural formation. Yeshi stopped at the top of the tower. Look at the camera again. Actually, the place I'm exploring this time is not the crystal tower in front of you as you think. It's a well-known place. Yeshi's voice was very dull mixed with the water flow, but it came out clearly. As long as there is Oceania in the world, there is the Pacific Ocean. Then since there is the Atlantic Ocean, why is there no Atlantis? The place I want to explore in this live broadcast is something that many people have heard of. The rumored kingdom of Atlantis is located in Atlantis, the capital of which is Poseidonia. Exploring the world, starting from the discovery of the white bone dragon pond. Author, Xuanhuan Hai. Chapter 55. As Yeshi's voice spread from the distant bottom of the Pacific Ocean to every corner of the world, everyone watching the live broadcast could not control their horrified eyes. It should be said that I get frightened every year, but I have never been frightened as much as when I was watching Yeshi's live broadcast. Even if a blue pyramid appears inexplicably on the bottom of the sea, why do you still say this is Dax's Who? And with the heated discussion, the popularity of hot searches climbed crazily at an alarming speed. Finally, I climbed directly to the top, and then there was an explosion. The server that had been greatly expanded encountered Yeshi. It was like a potato meeting a kitchen knife. It didn't last for a few seconds before it exploded again. Domestically, it just blew up a few servers. But overseas, many people have smoke coming out of their heads and feel like they are going to explode. When the terms Atlantis and Atlantis appeared, the popularity caused abroad is beyond anyone's imagination. Yeshi's live broadcast room is seeing a crazy influx of people again, and the level of browsing of foreign-related information is rising. With this, Yeshi, who was originally second-rate in foreign countries, instantly became an internet celebrity, with countless people following him at the same time. Originally, the last time I visited the ancient city. Although it also makes many historians' brains congested. But most of the time it is still a scourge for domestic historians and archaeologists. This time is different. After congratulating domestic scholars, Yeshi's move made the foreign research experts completely stunned. Scholars from a certain country should originally appreciate the myths of the mysterious ancient Oriental country. Unexpectedly, this time, eating melon would end up on his own head. Yes, I heard someone in the distance gloating over the collapse of their house. As a result, I took a closer look and found that the collapsed house was my own. His expression was shocked, his hair stood on end, and he shouted frantically. Why? How is this possible? Yeah, do you understand what Atlantis means? But a typical European scholar couldn't sit still all of a sudden. He stared at Yeshideo, who was talking eloquently on the bottom of the sea with wide eyes. Hey, man, how come Atlantis is in the Pacific Ocean? Stop talking about that damn thing. Most of the foreign tourists who were diving came out of the water one after another. This is impossible. Yeah, do you know what you are talking about? God has already divided the world's locations, and the Pacific Ocean is undoubtedly not the West and has nothing to do with Atlantis. Yeah, you'd better go back to the Dragon Kingdom to live. Broadcast the dragon. The mysterious ancient country is more suitable for you instead of talking nonsense here. Otherwise, I will definitely kick your ass hard, I promise to God. Ah, my yeah, if you say that again, more people will scold you. The Blue Pyramid is already very magical. There is no need to put it together with Atlantis. This familiar picture, this familiar saying, I vaguely remember that when Lao Ye went to Jingzhou ancient city, some people in China also ridiculed him like this. Now the grass on the grave is 3 meters high. Have these foreigners watched Brother Ye's live broadcast? Do they know that Brother Ye never tells lies when exploring secrets? Happy, it's the first time I see so many different languages. It's broken, Brother Ye. I saw someone on Tubi doing a live broadcast to follow the route you took to this Blue Pyramid. Yeah, she stared at the camera and explained to everyone. Of course I saw these barrages. He wasn't worried about whether anyone would find him. When he came to the sea area, he felt the changes in the magnetic field here. It should be related to the Blue Pyramid. If it weren't for the special yachts rewarded by the system, ordinary tourists and ships would have no way of finding this place. So he smiled brightly and continued. No one should be too surprised. After all, it's just the beginning now. You may be surprised by what happens in the future. Lao Ye's expression is still so flat, but what he said is right. Yes, she was standing at the top of the tower. He motioned for the camera to zoom in, then pointed at it and said, the blue crystal tower here is a bit magical. You can see the blue light reflected from the top. As I stand here, I can feel a strange energy spreading out. Also, I don't know if any of my viewers have research on undersea creatures. You can see that all the biota near the pyramid are more active than ordinary seabed creatures. It should be that this blue crystal tower has formed a special magnetic field. I'm going to try it now. See if you can communicate through special energy and enter this magical underwater pyramid. After Yeshi said this, he put his hand on the top of the tower. Then mobilize the energy in the divine treasure in your body and try to communicate with it. Whoosh! In an instant, a sky-reaching blue light pillar suddenly broke through the constraints of the sea water, rushed out of the sea, and rushed into the sky. Those who were still swirling in the Pacific Ocean looked up and saw the wonders in front of them. One of them pointed at the blue light beam and shouted loudly, OMG, what is this? Is this the Blue Crystal Pyramid in Yes live broadcast room? Just when these people are trying to go in this direction, the beam of light disappears. And Yeshi's figure gradually faded, and slowly disappeared in front of everyone. It seems that he really established some connection with the Blue Pyramid and entered the pyramid. Some comments in the live broadcast room went crazy instantly. Ah, where is the camera? Yejun, bring your camera into the pyramid, we want to see what is inside the pyramid. Don't worry, Lao Ye's body is a camera, wait and see, how come this looks like a teleportation in the game? When Yeshi opened his eyes again, he was already 108,000 miles away from the pyramid. He came. It is rumored that the lost continent, the lost world, Poseidonia. This is an ancient civilization that has never appeared in the eyes of humans. Only through the entrance of the Blue Pyramid can you enter the lost civilization. Ding, Congratulations to the host for exploring the Poseidonia map. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Exploring the world, starting from the discovery of the white bone dragon pond. Author, Xuanhuan Hai. Chapter 56. Ding, congratulations to the host. The exploration of the Poseidonia map has increased by 4%. The overall progress is now 4%. Ding, congratulations to the host for unlocking the first puzzle piece of Poseidonia. The reward is 10 energy amethysts, 1 non-transformable bone, 1 lucky gold coin, and 2 Poseidonia fragments. Poseidonia Illustrated Book, Pillars of Hylox, 9 Dragons Hunting Sea Monsters. Pillars of Hylox, the legendary end of the world. Once the ship sails out of the Pillars of Hylox, it will leave the embrace of the world. However, the end of the world will never be at this place. This is just the boundary between Atlantis and secular civilization. And as Atlantis fell to the bottom of the sea, it also became the symbol of Poseidonia. 9 Dragon Ghost Hunting Sea Monster, this is a monster from the deep sea. It has an indestructible body and each head has a special spell. It is the king of the deep sea and the nightmare of all Atlanteans, and in Chapter 1 after an undersea king successfully hunted it, it became a testament to his achievements. Energy Amethyst, although the name is exactly the same as what you remember, the effect is completely different from what you imagined. Atlantis is a crystal civilization, and amethyst is an energy source with extremely high purity, which is similar to the wind element. Being connected activates the mind, and aids in clairvoyance and intuition. Immortal Bones, originating from the ancient East, it is a legendary creature that reincarnates from the dead, from destruction to spirit, and is a zombie that remains here forever because of an Atlantean. It possesses an infinite. If you turn it into bones and use it for yourself, you will directly enter the highest level of zombies. Lucky Gold Coin, throw a gold coin. Heads are luck and tails are misfortune. But this gold coin will always have heads and no tails. Toss a gold coin and you will receive 24 hours of lucky blessings. Luck is indeed not omnipotent, but there is no luck is impossible, isn't it? There was a tinkling sound in Yeshi's ears. However, after the divine treasure was opened and the blue crystal pyramid echoed with each other for a moment, he actually came directly to this lost underwater kingdom. When I looked around and was about to walk over to introduce this place to everyone, only then did he suddenly realize that something was not quite right. By the way, where are the live footage? While he was thinking, time came and went. Almost a minute had passed. Netizens who had originally sworn that Yeshi's body was the camera began to panic. Oops, it's been 15 seconds and we're still here. Why didn't we leave with Lao yet? Gan, don't panic, don't panic. It's been 20 seconds, don't let something really happen. No, I'm so panicked. Yeshi didn't know yet, but in just 50 seconds. Those who watched his live broadcast almost called the police collectively. After the system started the live broadcast here, everyone breathed a sigh of relief. Then looking at the huge pillar and sea monster in the distance, everyone was dumbfounded. At the same time, Yeshi showed his crystal teeth and smiled brightly at the camera. Welcome to Atlantis. Boom. Everyone's hearts were rumbling. They looked at the magnificent and mysterious seabed and the statue-like 9 dragons hunter sea monster. They could no longer contain their excitement. Oh my God, where has Yeshen come to? In this world, there is another world under the sea. 70% of Blue Star is the sea. Even if there is no civilization in the sea, I don't believe it. It's a pity that it is already in ruins. How come Lao Ye can find this place? Why don't you tell us that you figured it out by reading a book? Yeshen, hey, everyone is ready to answer the question. Since you all know, then don't ask. It's so shocking. I didn't expect that humans would really come to the bottom of the sea one day. or without any preconditions the fish cries and the sea knows, but who knows if I cry? 6666666 This wave of 6666666666666666666666666666666666666666666666666666666666666666666666666666666666666666666666666666666666666666666666666666666666666666666666666666666666666666666666666666666666666666666666666666666666666666666666666. How did you type? Yashi walked forward slowly. Many places here have become ruins. Everyone seemed to have witnessed how this civilization disappeared from the world during that great flood. We may have reached the deepest seabed here, surrounded by darkness, with only Poseidonia still emitting a faint light. It seems that although the city sank to the bottom of the sea, it has still maintained operation for 30,000 years. Human voices echoed from the bottom of the sea where humans have never been. Yashi pointed forward, looked at the camera and said, "The bright spot in front is the place we are exploring this time, Poseidonia. Everyone can see if there is a pillar there that is about to fall. It is called the Pillar of Hylicus. In the era of Atlantis, it was said that as long as you passed the Pillars of Hylicus, you would reach the end of the world, which is the mysterious kingdom of Atlantis. It's a pity that an unprecedented flood completely buried this mysterious country under the sea. Today, I will take you to lift the veil of this mysterious kingdom." Zhou, I knew that Lao Ye suddenly knew everything again. "Don't ask, just ask, and bring the library with you. It happened 30,000 years ago. It's been a long time. When this time comes, I feel like people are going numb." After Yashi introduced the Pillars of Hylox, he pointed at the 9 dragons phantom sea monster that looked both petrified and made of flesh and blood and steel, and said, "Have you seen its 9 heads? I still remember that when I first started the live broadcast, someone asked me if I was looking for sea monsters. Look, this 100-meter-long Kowloon hunter sea monster is the sea monster you are looking for. This is far scarier than the Loch Ness monster." Yashi looked at the extremely ferocious Kowloon phantom sea monster that seemed to be conveying his anger and shook his head. It is rumored that each of its heads has special abilities. Therefore, this kind of monster is the king of the deep sea even in the deep sea. It once brought unimaginable trouble to Atlantis, so it was regarded as a meritorious service and hung in front of Poseidonia to show the bravery of the Atlanteans. I realized again, it turns out that Lao Ye is from Atlantis, no wonder he treasures these things so much. It would be better to say that he is the reincarnation of a real dragon, or the high priest of the Ghost Cave clan. Understood, it's just a rumor again. The rumors from Lao Ye's mouth are facts. This sea monster is so terrifying, I feel like the evil energy is coming out from across the screen. I still don't understand. So is Lao Ye inside the blue crystal pyramid this time? When Yashi saw this question, he shook his head. After Atlantis sank to the bottom of the sea, except for special methods, it was impossible to travel to this lost civilization. The blue pyramid on the seabed we saw before is actually a medium of communication with Atlantis. Have you ever heard of the transformation between consciousness and matter? This is the method used by Blue Pyramid. When Yashi saw that there was no barrage, he helplessly spread his hands and did not continue to explain. Instead, he continued walking inside. There is already a lot of ruins under your feet, and something will be kicked up from time to time. In fact, because Poseidonia sank to the bottom of the sea, the external environment has been almost destroyed. This is more like a ruin than the kingdom of Atlantis. In the deep sea, the fluctuations of water are almost imperceptible. But the netizens in the live broadcast room watched Yashi approaching and exploring as if they were watching a movie. The damage here is too serious. Except for the 2 things we just saw, many of them have been completely turned into ruins. Yashi shook his head regretfully. Let's keep moving forward and see what the light among the ruins means. Yashi glanced at the camera, pointed to the place where the frontmost light was emitting, and then strode forward. Exploring the world, starting from the discovery of the white bone dragon pond. Author, Wo Yu Yi Pian Hai. Chapter 57. Most of Poseidonia is in ruins, but among the ruins there are still fluorescent lights emitting. It's simply puzzling. And as Yeshi gets closer and closer, the reason why these inexplicable lights have been shining on the seabed for 30,000 years also appears. I didn't expect it to be crystals, incense candles, and a small boat. Yeshi's eyes were a little surprised, but following the sound of the system dinging in his ears, he also understood why these two things appeared here. Seeing the barrage of confusion, Yeshi squatted down slightly and raised his hand to signal. This is the death custom of the kingdom of Atlantis. I seem to understand that every beam of light here represents a dead Atlantean. He stood up, looked at the camera and explained. Didn't I say before that the Atlantis civilization is a crystal civilization? So, even if you die, you should always be with crystal. Because in the Atlantean view, crystals can bring people back to life. As for the incense candle, it means light, illuminating the journey of death. And the soul fell on the boat, and the boat carried the souls of the Atlanteans to be resurrected again. After Yeshi said this, he emphasized again. Of course, these are just legends. Just listen to them. There is no need to think deeply. Understood, once these words are spoken, it really means that one can be resurrected in this way, right? I know, it's authentic at first glance. But wouldn't this kind of light attract fish monsters at the bottom of the sea? Yeshi laughed when he saw some people's questions in the live broadcast room, and then moved closer to the light source. Touch it slightly with your hand. The waves rose, and a protective shield formed near this small light, preventing him from continuing to test. Although he could indeed break through the energy shield here if he wanted to, he did not do so. You saw it? It should be the energy in the crystal that protects the things here. So what you are worried about won't happen. Yeshi looked around, as if he was looking for something, he said. Also, there should be guarding manta rays around here. I don't know why I didn't see it. In the historical records I have found, every Atlantean soul that dies will be protected by a manta ray. Forget it, since we can't see it, let's continue walking deeper. Yeshi touched his chin and didn't say that he was deliberately waiting for the stingray to show up. Instead, he continued to move forward. But soon, everyone discovered the difference in these light tombs. There are things similar to ancient coins in some light tombs, but the three-piece set is still in other light tombs. Yeshi didn't stop and swam upward. Try to get closer to the magnificent underwater building in front. The ancient coin you are talking about should be a replica of a lucky gold coin. Yeshi's tone was very relaxed. Everyone should know that in ancient times there was belief in gods. Not to mention that this is an ancient civilization that dates back 30,000 years. In the system of Atlantis, of course, there are different beliefs in gods. And those light tombs with replica lucky gold coins must have believed in two gods at the same time during their lifetimes. That's the god of the sea and the god of the earth. Yeshi was getting closer to the temple in front, his eyes sparkling with curiosity, but he still continued to popularize science. Different from the perception of the general public. Because the Atlanteans fell from the ground to the bottom of the sea because of a catastrophe. So many Atlanteans thought that some of them were too greedy and offended the gods of the earth, so the earth was unwilling to carry them and pushed them into the bottom of the sea. So some people believe in the earth god and pray for forgiveness from the earth god, and the representative of the earth god is luck. Therefore, there is a magical treasure in Atlantis called the lucky gold coin. It is said that if you have it, you will have luck, which means that the earth god has favored you. Yeshi spread his hands and landed on the temple. Of course, these are just legends. Yeshi touched the lucky gold coin in his pocket and once again confirmed that this was indeed just a legend. The audience watching the live broadcast was like listening to a novel. They were stunned by Yeshi. Many people were still hesitant at first, but after hearing Yeshi's last words, the person sitting in front of the computer screen couldn't help but curled his lips and typed. Call the ghosts, even the ghosts won't believe this is just a legend. I always thought that luck was related to the goddess of luck, but I didn't expect that the earth actually represented luck. It was unexpected and reasonable. Of course I don't really want to question why Lao Ye knows so much, I just feel confused that he knows so much. Yeah, history library, God. Don't look at the library, look at the sky. A whale has fallen from the sky. Yeah, she also looked up to the sky. Yes, as one netizen said. A whale fell from the sky. It was light blue and swaying. The distant sound of a whale rang out. It swam straight towards Yeshi. He was about to hit him, but Yeshi didn't move. It caused many people to exclaim. However, they saw that this 8 or 9 meter long whale passed directly through Yeshi's body. Then they poured into the temple under Yeshi's feet. Wow, what is this? Another lifelike whale emerged from under Yeshi's feet. When he looked toward the interior of the temple in front of him, a familiar system voice sounded in his ears again. Ding, the side quest is started. Sacrifice to the sea god. Exploring the world, starting from the discovery of the white bone dragon pond. Author, Wo Yi Pian Hai. Chapter 58. Ding, the side mission is started. Sacrifice to the Poseidon. Before Atlantis had completely sunk to the bottom of the sea, there were countless temples standing in Poseidonia. Countless people worshipped the god of the sea. The power of faith flourished, and the one in front of you is dedicated to the true God. Place. Therefore, even if the land and sea change each other after the flood, this temple still sits quietly on the seabed and will last forever. Place some incense for him. An unbelieving person like you, who has no respect for the gods, is not worthy of entering the temple. But who has allowed no one or even a fish to worship here for 30,000 years? When you step into the temple and stand in front of the statue, 3 sticks of incense will appear in your hand. After worshipping, you will receive a gift from the god of the ocean. After Yeshi completely listened to the popular science of the system, suddenly I felt a little sad for the gods in the temple. The whales are still going around in circles, like an eternal ocean scene, which makes people sigh. Don't be surprised, these whales are not entities, they are just projections. Yeshi glanced at the camera, then gestured to the temple in front. The building in front of me seems to be the best preserved place among the ruins. Now let's go in and see what this temple looked like 30,000 years ago. After Yeshi finished speaking, he swam directly towards the temple. Others were equally curious and looking forward to what would be inside. It can only be said that Atlantis is indeed a crystal civilization. As soon as Yeshi entered, his eyes were almost blinded. Not to mention a piece of sparkling crystal, Yeshi walked into it. It even felt like there was an antenna connected to the top of my head, and my thinking was several times more active. Why is it the same as the Dragon King's Crystal Palace? Are you the Dragon King or is that along the Dragon King? Even if it is a crystal civilization, this is too outrageous. The person upstairs is really right, it is really the same as the Dragon King's Crystal Palace in the myth. I'm blind, I can't even see Lao Ye's face clearly. Originally I heard that this was a temple and I really wanted to see what the ancient gods looked like, but now I haven't seen the gods clearly and my eyes are almost gone. Old Ye, can you zoom out a little further? The Sun Palace is not so dazzling, right? This is true for all the people across the screen, let alone Yeshi. I now suspect that the reason why Atlantis became a crystal civilization is because their gods like crystals very much. Yeshi got used to the shining crystal inside and couldn't help but smile. As soon as I finished speaking, I felt a death gaze coming from the front. Yeshi Dingqing took a look and discovered that it was the unlucky guy who had not been worshipped for 30,000 years. It seemed that he heard his own words, so he looked at himself. Wait until the lens softens a little bit of the sharpness inside. Yeshi just explained to the camera. In investigations by modern historians, as well as ancient Greek records, it is said that the Atlanteans worshipped Poseidon, the god of the sea. But now it seems that's not the case. Yeshi pointed the camera at the temple and approached, when a familiar voice rang. Ding, congratulations to the host. The exploration of the Poseidonia map has increased by 6%, and the overall progress is now 10%. Ding, congratulations to the host for unlocking the second puzzle piece of Poseidonia. You will be rewarded with emeralds, golden pumpkins, Poseidon's power, and Poseidonia fragments x2. Poseidonia illustrated book, Ancient God Statue, 5-colored altar. Ancient statue, this is the oldest statue in Atlantis, representing the development of the earliest civilization. It has now been forgotten here. Even its name is unknown, but it still possesses divine power that mortals cannot reach. 5-color altar, yes, that's right, this ancient statue is built on a 5-color altar. Just like the 5-color altar in the White Bone Dragon Pond, but the difference is that the 5-color altar here is well preserved. As long as you move the statue down and activate the 5-color altar, you can go to another planet. Emerald Gem, when you meet the Atlanteans again, give it to him, and you will become the most distinguished guest of the Kingdom of Atlantis. Of course, the Atlanteans are still alive. Daxus who just fell from the sea to the bottom of the sea. Golden Pumpkin, this is a treasure with truly legendary power. It can turn you into the Kingdom of Atlantis, the only Poseidon princess with the right to inherit the 10 kingdoms. You will become the real lord of the 10 kingdoms. The opportunity to inherit the ocean is right in front of you. Do you choose or not? There was a tinkling sound in Yeshi's ears, but when he saw the statue of the god, he was stunned. The live broadcast room was also stunned. After a long time, someone came back to his senses and sent a barrage. Sorry to ask, was I blinded by the crystal flash just now? Otherwise, how could I see the 5-color altar under the sea? Following this barrage, the entire live broadcast room exploded. Precious. Can you explain to us what is underneath the statue? I was in extreme shock and was shocked for a whole year. Why is there also a 5-color altar here? Old yet. Brother yet. Yeshen. God. You open your mouth and speak. True, life is full of surprises. 1,000 miles away, what Brother Yes said before, I'm surprised now, the state has come early, and you will be surprised in the future. Only now do I understand what this means. Touching Atlantis, I found the 5-color altar. Touching the altar that crosses the starry sky, you are worthy of it, old yet. Yeshi was standing about 5 meters away from the statue at this time, and coughed twice gently. Then looked at the camera. Don't be surprised, stay calm. We have seen all kinds of scenes, this is the second time we have seen the 5-color altar, why are you still so impatient? Sorry, I have never seen this scene. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Exploring the world, starting from the discovery of the White Bone Dragon Pond. Author, Wo Yi Pian Hai. Chapter 59. On the surface, Yeshi asked the audience in the live broadcast room to calm down. In fact, the sound of the system in my head almost exploded. Please give me a good explanation as to why there is such an outrageous reward as the Golden Pumpkin. Ding, the Golden Pumpkin is one of Poseidonia's legendary treasures. The host must decide whether to use it or not. Yeshi. Don't try to blame. He really couldn't control his expression at this moment, and he couldn't hold himself tight anymore. Especially, when the consciousness sinks in and sees the Golden Pumpkin in the system space. He actually felt an attraction. Yeshi quickly told himself not to think too much. After all, this is not just women's clothing, but directly transformed into a woman. Is this okay? No, absolutely not. Yeshi reminded himself sternly in his heart. But I glanced at the golden pumpkin out of the corner of my eye, and thought about the power of the 10 kingdoms coming from the ocean, and my heart skipped a beat. Abba! Not excited at all. He is the man who wants to seize the authority of the ancient gods. The authority of the 10 kingdoms is still a mortal thing after all, so don't let it go. Yashi quickly pulled his mind back. Then he looked at the camera. Seeing everyone so excited, he couldn't comfort him anymore. Instead, he took a few steps forward, preparing to complete the side mission first. So he spoke and said, "Don't be so surprised. It's just a 5-color altar appearing in Atlantis under the sea. Don't make too much of a fuss. Let's take a closer look at the statues of gods from 30,000 years ago. Can we find anything more?" Yashi remembered the system's previous side mission reminder, but he didn't expect that. The worship process here is really fully automated. It may be 30,000 years, but not even a fish has come to worship at the temple. So God's requirements have been released again and again, and now, as long as they are individuals, it's fine. Yashi just stood in front of the statue for a moment. 3 incense sticks that were completely transparent and looked like crystals appeared in the air before his eyes. Just wait for Yashi to reach out and get it. This scene was so magical that some people who were having a heated discussion about how the 5-color altar appeared in Atlantis couldn't help but stop their heated argument. How come people smell good when they stand here? Is it possible that this statue still knows that someone comes to worship it? Good guy, it's time to keep up with the times, and it's fully automated. I'm scratching my head right now, really wanting to know if 5-color altars were everywhere on Blue Star in ancient times, and then what planet did Lao Ye talk about being transported to another planet? Ye Bao, please tell me. Family members, I feel like my inspiration is too high. Why do I always feel like this statue is alive? Woo woo woo. Last time in the ghost cave I always felt like something was watching me from below. The Taoist wizard upstairs, why don't you give me 50 deki to go crazy on Saturday? I have a copy of The Secret of Immortality in my hand. I don't want 9999999, just 998, and you can take it home. Yashi reached out to take the incense, then moved his hand slightly downward, and then inserted the incense into the incense burner in front of him. He really didn't understand what this back and forth meant to the statue in front of him. However, regarding this issue, Yeshizi did not shout out loudly. After all, speaking ill of people in front of others has happened once, so there is no need to do it a second time. Otherwise, what if the other party really falls out? He heard the sound of the side mission being completed in his ears. When I heard the rewards reported by the system again, I couldn't help but roll my eyes in my heart. I'm pretty good at borrowing flowers to offer to Buddha. Yashi looked angrily at the 3 hanging treasures presented by the statue after the incense was inserted. The system said it was a reward for a branch line. That is, water spirit bead, a whole sealed sea beast, and 5-color blue stone x10. After Yashi saw these 3 treasures, he picked them up one after another, then looked at the camera and said with a look of surprise, "I didn't expect there to be such a special rule here. Brother, your acting skills are terrible. Why don't you just pretend you don't understand?" Lao Ye didn't even know how smooth his sequence of actions was when he entered the temple. He actually wanted to deceive me, a veteran of the 4 dynasties, right? It's a dream. This time, it may be a performance error. The barrage doesn't pay much. Yashi also put back the exaggerated expression on his face and explained seriously. I have indeed seen information about this kind of statue in some historical books. It is also the preparatory work prepared before my 3rd exploration. Everyone understands, I won't expose you anyway. Understand, it is not impossible for the ancients to be indecisive when faced with problems, including ancient books, and ancient libraries. Yashi's expression remained unchanged in the face of the barrage of ridicule. He walked slowly in front of the statue and continued. It is recorded in ancient books that once you enter the temple and stand in front of the statue, you will receive incense. And if you use the incense to worship, this ancient god will give you gifts from the ocean. After Yeshi finished explaining, he placed the water spirit bead given to him by the statue in front of the camera. His tone turned to regret, and he raised his finger and pointed to the sky above the seabed. However, this statue fell to the bottom of the sea along with the fall of Daxus. In the legendary records, the statue of the god should be related to the original origin of the Atlanteans. Aren't there many historians who suspect that everyone in Atlantis is an alien? This is not necessarily fake. Look at the five-colored altar under the statue. Maybe the Atlanteans really came from another planet. Yeshi smiled and said, with a hint of meaning, I know many people are very interested in the content of my live broadcast. This time I won't stop you. If you want to come to Atlantis, you are welcome to come. No need, we want to see the mystery, but we don't want to commit suicide. No one has found the blue pyramid yet. Old yeah, you have become evil, right? You want your fans to see the king of hell. Brother, you are professional, but we are not. There is no need to mention this matter again. I would rather fall into the ghost cave than go to the bottom of the sea. There is still a chance to survive in the ghost cave. The bottom of the sea will directly end with GG. Yeshi shrugged his shoulders. He just mentioned it. Anyway, these people can't come. It seems that after the worship, Yeshi felt that the eyes in the dark were much softer. He took another step forward and touched the five-color altar under the statue. He turned to the camera and said with a very firm tone, That's right, this is exactly the same as the five-color altar we saw in the White Bone Dragon Pond. Unlike the five-color altar that time, the five-color altar here is intact. In other words, as long as you open the five-color altar here, you can go to another planet, which may be completely opposite to our blue star. Yeshi's voice spread out from the temple, and it seemed that he was the only living thing in the quiet seabed. For some reason, after hearing this, the netizens in the live broadcast room who were originally very excited suddenly felt a chill blowing from the soles of their feet to the top of their heads. Kinlibulixing, actually, at the beginning of the White Bone Dragon Pond, I didn't believe in the five-color altar, but now, I'm suddenly a little scared. What's going on? Is it possible that there have been aliens on our Earth for a long time, but we don't know? Every time I see old yet turning myths into reality, I feel so excited. I was so looking forward to aliens before, but when I really felt that I was about to contact aliens, I felt that I was afraid. What the hell is scary? Who is more like an alien than old yet? What the above said makes sense. If old yes elementary school, junior high school, college, and kindergarten classmates hadn't come out with group photos, I really wouldn't believe that such an alien old yet is actually a real blue star. Yeshi saw this discussion with a glance, and couldn't help but speechless. Don't slander me, I'm just an ordinary person like you. It happened that Yeshi walked around the inside of the temple and saw a mural. So he stopped. The pupils shrank, as if he saw a very surprising news. Didn't some netizens wonder why such a highly developed crystal civilization was destroyed by a flood? Although several netizens refuted that the entire Atlantis had fallen, how could Atlantis survive? I saw the argument between the two parties, and to be honest, neither of them could convince me. So I didn't answer these questions. But now, I can answer your why. Exploring the world, starting from the discovery of the White Bone Dragon Pond. Author, Xuanhuan Pian Hai. Chapter 60. This temple is very vast, and within a few steps you can see the huge pillars supporting the temple, with legends about the gods' achievements carved on them. But the paintings are very abstract, let alone ordinary people, even people from Atlantis would probably not be able to understand them. There are precious crystals piled everywhere in the temple. But the strange thing is that there is nothing here except crystals. So it seemed extremely empty. And when I was waiting for leaves, I walked into the depths. but they discovered that there was actually a wall here with extremely gorgeous murals, which recorded the events from the emergence of Atlantis to the sinking of Atlantis at the bottom of the sea. Yashi looked at the mural recording history, raised his eyebrows, and thought it was very interesting, so he said what he said before. But after only 10 seconds of pause, the netizens in the live broadcast room seemed to be going crazy. So you should answer us why? Jun, yeah, don't just look at it for yourself, please tell us what the truth is. I tried my best to zoom in, but I saw a bunch of abstract ghost symbols, which I really couldn't understand. So a brand new text has appeared. Does this mean that historians around the world have something to do? Historian, we are lining up to be reincarnated. Why are we suddenly asked to do this? Do you want to take a bath in the underworld with us? Yashi took a few steps back slightly. Then he pointed to the first mural and looked back at the statue. He sounded a little surprised. It seems that our previous guess was good. The Atlanteans are really alien creatures. It is recorded here that this nameless god opened the way to the starry sky through the five-color altar. Then they were captured by the Atlanteans. They followed the ancient starry sky road built with five-color altars and came to our blue star. I've settled down in blue star ever since. Yashi's tone was a little strange. There is no record of why the Atlanteans quickly developed an extremely advanced crystal civilization. From the first time I came into contact with the Atlantean civilization, I was amazed by this crystal civilization. It is really incredible. Etc. Yashi suddenly remembered something and asked a question. Just such a sentence made everyone who heard it get angry. Didn't I tell you about the power of Atlantis crystals? Brother, I have to tell you a truth. When people are angry, they will die. Really, this is a truth that remains unchanged despite the ups and downs in the world. Yes, I'm going to be pissed off by you. It's time for you to ask yourself, when did you tell us about the function of crystals? You obviously just disappeared on the spot in a swish, leaving us wide-eyed and small-eyed. When it was over, you went straight to the bottom of the sunken depths who without explaining anything. We co-authored the barrage and typed so many words, but you didn't see any of them, right? The ancient road in the starry sky, what novel descriptions reflect reality? Yashi also suddenly thought that he had not explained it and had forgotten it. He blinked his eyes and pretended nothing happened. He showed a bright smile and said with a smile. Although I didn't say it clearly, I think everyone understands it. You overestimate us and don't understand at all. I always thought that a bright smile gave people strength, until I met Lao Ye and discovered that the devil also smiles. Yashi coughed twice and continued. The blue crystal pyramid we saw on the seabed before can unlock the genetic treasures in living organisms. And it has the special effect of purifying the soul, enhancing consciousness, and curing all physical diseases. Moreover, it can also transform matter and consciousness into each other. When I was being teleported, I could clearly feel that my consciousness passed first, and then the particles condensed into the physical body, which is similar to the quantum teleportation technology mentioned by scientists now. Gigi, this is the first time I heard about Jin Shenzang. What does it mean? Cure all diseases of the body. It's a pity that I can't go there. Looking at it this way, the civilization of Atlantis is beyond our imagination. It has technology similar to quantum teleportation. How could it be destroyed by a great flood? If you don't mind, can Lao Ye explain to us what unlocking the genetic treasure in an organism means? Yashi shrugged his shoulders, pointed at the mural and said. The reason why I suddenly thought of the role of crystals. It's because the temple mural records the reason for the sinking of Daxus. There are two possibilities, both of which are inextricably related to the crystal. The first type of record is what we ordinary people think of as the Great Flood. But this Great Flood is no ordinary Great Flood. In the records above, I actually see some connections with our myths and legends. Yashi's eyes were very strange. It's a bit outrageous to say that, because according to the mural records, this Great Flood did not come from the earth, but from the sky. That means the sky is broken. Do you still remember the story of Nuwa patching up the sky and Gong Gong's angry attack on Mount Buzhu? Yashi spread his hands and pointed at one of the murals. What is recorded here is that the sky suddenly opened, a huge flood fell from the sky, completely turning the entire Atlantic Ocean upside down, and the magnetic field changed. The magnetic field has changed, causing all the crystals to be affected. Not to mention that the Dak Sea continent where the Atlanteans are located happens to be directly opposite Tinpo. Therefore, Atlantis fell directly into the seabed, and the flood washed away the sea and changed the world. We, the people of later generations, can't find even a trace of it. After saying this, Yeshi shut up, and then looked at the content behind the mural in a daze. Still puzzled. After that, he looked at the live broadcast room. It is true that no matter which myth or legend there is a legend of a great flood, but the legend of patching the sky is only in our dragon country. Could it be? Be bold, if the myths and legends are true, it may be our people who patched it that day. It's really outrageous, so the goddess Nuwa went to Atlantis to patch the sky. I searched it, and it was written in Huainanzi, so Nuwa refined 5 colored stones to patch the sky, and cut off the feet of Ao to establish the 4 poles Atlantis. Isn't it one of the 4 poles? Isn't there another reason for Atlantis to sink? To be honest, I can't think of another possible reason. Yeshi looked at the discussion in the live broadcast room, and the faces of these netizens became more and more weird. It seemed that he wanted to say something, but finally chose to shut up. Something is wrong. I have never seen this expression on old Yes' face. It's bad, something big has happened. Could it be that the reason for the sinking of Atlantis is even more outrageous than this? I can't imagine that there is a more outrageous record than Nuwa repairing the sky of the kingdom of Atlantis. I am Yunran. Are you kidding? Do you really think that we, who have experienced many storms and waves, are veterans of 4 dynasties for nothing? Old Ye, just say it. If my legs are weak, I will write my name upside down. Yeshi raised his foot and walked to the 8/10 part of the mural, then pointed here and said, there is a second record here about the sinking of Atlantis into the seabed. I also think that my fans have experienced great storms, so I won't be euphemistic and tell you directly. In this other record, the Great Flood is a spell. A spell that can exterminate everything. Atlantis was directly hit into the seabed by the spell called the Great Flood. Yes, that's right, this spell called the Great Flood directly sank a continent. A highly developed crystal civilization, directly into the seabed. When I typed the question mark, it wasn't me who had a problem, it was you who had a problem. Click. A slacker who was sneaking around in the office suddenly felt weak in the legs. And collapsed directly to the ground. The computer was showing Yeshi's live broadcast, and his ID name was I am Yunran. Some other netizens who were watching the live broadcast were so shocked that they almost died. All those who heard this had dull faces and indescribable expressions, as if they had suffered some kind of mental trauma. Hey, why is no one talking? Haven't my fans experienced many ups and downs?